Hello everyone, my name is Julia Evers and today I will be going over the TMEA Etude Élégie by Donjon. This is one of my favorite etudes to play. It is a very fun and flowing etude and I will be going over some tips of how to practice this etude and some things that might help you out while learning this piece. So first things first, when learning a piece, I like to work in layers. So first thing you need to make sure is that the notes are correct and that the rhythms are correct. Make sure that you are playing the correct notes. Be playing a B natural instead of a B flat by mistake. Make sure that you are aware of any accidentals that may be happening or that are carrying throughout the rest of the measure while you're practicing this. While practicing this and getting familiar with it, I would practice it in a eighth note beat. So basically where the metronome is each beat for the metronome is an eighth note, and 4 of those 30-second notes fit into one click. So for example, this is the eighth note click, and I would practice it this way. When you get more comfortable with the tempo and speed, you can of course make it a little bit faster and be able to fit all of those 30-second notes into one click or the quarter note. Something else to be aware of while you're practicing this is to make sure that your fingers are even while you're going through these 30-second notes. You really don't want there to be like short notes or longer notes. You really want to make sure that each note is even through these runs. Daga 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 daga, and not something like daga 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 or any other variation of that. Really want to make sure that those 30 seconds are even throughout the whole beat. Also, since this is a very kind of technical etude and our fingers are working a lot, it'll really help you if you make sure that your fingers are light and that they don't have a lot of tension in them. Be aware of what your fingers, how far away your fingers are from the keys while you're practicing. The further your fingers are from the keys, and if they're moving faster, then that creates a lot more work on yourself. Your fingers have a lot farther to travel versus if you keep your fingers very close to the keys, and it makes a lot less work for your fingers instead of having to do all of this mess. Something that I would encourage you to do is to look through this piece and see what type of patterns there are. Are there any repetitions? There's a lot of repetitions in this piece. Once you're able to play, you know, like one thing, then you'll pretty much be set to play it again when it pops up later again in the piece. Like as a small example, in measure 9, when we're starting on the D and it's a D arpeggio all the way down and back up, it repeats itself again, okay? So if you can play, then you play it again. And even in measure 10 and after, there's a new pattern that you're kind of repeating over and over again. Or something along the lines of that. So I really encourage you to look through this, try to see some patterns and repetitions, and just kind of take comfort in the fact that you're not constantly playing new stuff. That once you have something learned and under your fingers, it's not going to be too long till you kind of play that material again. In addition to recognizing any of your patterns or repetition, also recognize whether it's repeating in octaves or not. Is it in a scalular fashion or is it an arpeggio? An exercise that you can do to practice your arpeggios is out of the Taffanel and Gobert book, or we call it our TNG exercises. that exercise is going to be number 12, and it is just all of the seventh chords, which there are a lot of seventh chords in this etude. So if you get kind of tired of maybe practicing this etude, I encourage you to go practice your TNG number 12 exercise, going through all those seventh chords, and that not only will help you be a little bit more comfortable with these seventh chords, but also any other seventh chords that you might come across in future repertoire. Once you've kind of got the notes and the rhythm down, then I would encourage you to really allow yourself to kind of loosen up, really go with the flow, really kind of play with some ease as you're now adding on another layer of phrasing and musicality. In my etude book for this particular etude, at the very top is a poem in French. It's and translated, it says, "In the darkened air, the last leaves roll in the ruts, my happiness too." So you can kind of imagine what you will. In my mind, I'm seeing the last leaves fall from the trees. We're going into a autumn, maybe winter type of scene, and things are getting really somber at this moment. So however you decide to interpret that, do as you will. Something else you can do to kind of help your understanding of this etude is to play through the skeleton of the piece. And by the skeleton, what I mean is the big beats or big moments of the piece. So for example, if I kind of play on some of the bigger beats at the beginning of this etude, we get this type of skeleton. Something like that to kind of give you more of a better feel of how the harmonic progression is going through this etude, just might help you feel where you want to go or what direction you're trying to go with the phrasing. Once you're comfortable with the notes and the rhythms, you can start adding more phrasing into this etude. My suggestion is however you can make the phrases more convincing, then that will be the way to go. There's multiple interpretations and ways that you can play this etude. There's different phrases that you can play. Whichever one you can make sound more convincing will be the correct way. So for example, I'll play two different types of interpretations in measures 7 and 8. So however you can make it more convincing, or whatever you feel is more musical, or the type of phrasing that you want to go for, then you have that liberty to do it. Also, a tip that I have for when you're, kind of noodling around in this lower register and then all of a sudden you have to go up to the higher register, something that I like to do is to basically prep myself for that upper note. So even if I'm in the lower register, I am already setting myself up to play that high note. So for example, in this measure, once I'm in that lower B, B, A, B, I am already thinking of how I need to change my air, how I need to change my embouchure a little bit to reach up for that high E. And as I go up for that high E, I very quickly make that change. Instead of just not making the change or not thinking of it beforehand. You see the difference? And the fourth measure from the end, this is after you've already played the high D sharp and high C sharp fermatas. Once you kind of go back into your A tempo, there's a opportunity for you to take a breath right after that B natural. You're more than welcome to take that breath, but there can be a tendency to not come back in time, and for things to feel a little bit off whenever you're kind of restarting the A tempo again. So my suggestion of what you can do is to put a slight little bump on that low A sharp as you're coming down, and as you come up, use that little A sharp as like your like an anchor to get back into time. So for example, notice how I kind of emphasize that low A sharp. I use that as my anchor to reestablish the tempo that I'm going forward. Taking that breath after that B natural. Other than that, go through this etude and write down any of the markings. A lot of them are in French, and if you don't know what they are, then Google it and look up what that meaning is in French, so you have a better idea of what the composer is asking for you in terms of speed or maybe expression while playing this etude. All of those things are going to be very important, and at the end of the day, just have fun playing this etude. It is really a lovely, wonderful little etude to play through, and it's truly fun. So I really hope that y'all enjoy practicing this, and if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or ask me. I'm here to help. So thank you for watching this video, and I will see y'all later. Bye-bye.